I'm Philip. I teach economics in Hong Kong high school, but it is unfortunate that I actually didn't major economics. I actually majored business administration. So my strength is not to teach very sophisticated or high-level economics. Instead, my strength is to teach junior grade economics, so that we can attract students to take this subject. Because in Hong Kong, maybe in many other countries as well, that economics is an elective subject. That means students can choose to take economics or not. Therefore, I think this topic may be important to you, that if you teach junior grade economics well, it will be a good start for them to take senior level economics courses. So as the saying goes, a good start is half the battle. So I think teaching junior grade is also important. And also to attract talented students, especially I think in many schools or universities, that economics actually has to compete students with sciences, with science faculties. So if maybe the best students, they will go to physics, chemistry, biology, but sometimes it is difficult to attract the best students to take economics and to join economics Olympiad. So I think teaching junior grade economics is an important way to attract them, because at the start, if they think economics is good, maybe they will be interested and join this subject. So I will share with you some techniques or strategies to teach junior grade economics. In economics, there are units or chapters. For example, demand and supply is usually a chapter. But to deal with junior students, I will break it down into smaller units, which I will give you an example now. So in demand and supply, if you go to traditional textbooks, the chapter will be very long. I can show you how the textbook looks like. Well, our textbook looks like this. You see it is very long, and just simply a chapter called Demand and Supply. It is very, very long. It goes from the concept, the definition, law of demand, law of supply, and it goes on and on, very long. It goes on and on until how to determine market equilibrium, shortage, surplus, that kind of thing. So the chapter itself is very long. But for junior grade students, what I'll do is to break it down into smaller units like this, like part A. Part A is simply the definition, just to let students understand the concept first. And then I'll stop here and do some exercise, like what is the law of demand? What is the law of supply? Like very, very simple ones, and how to apply law of demand and law of supply. So it will give students an easier start, not too sophisticated, because if I follow the traditional textbook and finish the whole chapter of demand and supply, there will be too much information for students to digest, and they won't have an opportunity to stop and ask questions. So what I do is to chop it down into smaller units like this, and to give them a short exercise. For example, part A, just definitions, just a law of demand, law of supply. They have some exercise. They can stop, think, and ask. And then I will go to further details like market equilibrium. What does equilibrium mean? To draw the diagrams. And then shortage, surplus, like is one step above the definitions, right? So it is about how the market equilibrium works, and then exercise again. So this method I found that is effective to be used on junior grade kids, because this will allow them to have more frequent exercise opportunities, and they will have more opportunities to stop and think whether they have questions or not. If I've finished the whole chapter of demand and supply and then give them exercises, they will find it difficult to digest. And also, if you pay attention to the cases that we used, because the traditional economics textbooks are usually based on British economics textbooks. This whole subject came from the British people. And sometimes the cases that used in traditional textbooks are difficult to be understood by students, particularly in Hong Kong. For example, bread and butter. The bread and butter is something European, it's your culture, right? It's the culture of the Western side. But in Hong Kong, you know, we don't really eat bread and butter every day. So it might be a snack for us. It is not something usually happen on our dining tables. And another example is beef and hide. That is beef and the cow skin. So for our students, it is impossible for them to imagine that beef and hide, to them is something that doesn't exist in Hong Kong because we don't have farming. We are a financial city, so we have to change all those cases and to use something that applies to their daily life. For example, this takeaway shop is actually 2 minutes walk from my school. The shop name is something familiar to them, and it's something they see every day. Instead of using textbook cases, we have to sometimes tailor-make them. Another example will be opportunity cost. So when the traditional textbooks teach the economic concepts, they usually give a number of concepts, but I take out one part of it, that is opportunity cost. For us, the students find it not so easy to understand. So I take out opportunity cost from the chapter of basic economic concepts, and then I use tailor-made cases. For example, where to eat lunch this afternoon. You know, this is a very practical question to our students every day, and it's the restaurants are real. The restaurants are actually exist around my school, like within 5 minutes walk, and they will understand that this kind of exercise as well. The exercises are also adapted to fit Hong Kong's situation. That cases related to farming or industry may be less relevant to our students because we live in a financial city, and the cases we use is like using land, you know, because this is the news that we hear in Hong Kong every day, how to use land because we have a shortage of land. So something like this. And so the results are that in my school, that economics has become one of the students' favorites, and we keep attracting good students into our team. That means that is why you are seeing me here today, because we are having good students that make us able to form a team to send to the IEO. Last year we had grade 10 students. Grade 10 is the first year of high school. That means we are sending quite junior kids to the Olympics, but they won 1 medal, I think, while competing against students 2 or 3 years older than they are. So I think it is it represents something, and please let me know what you think.